Hey, hola amigos, ¿cómo estás? What's up, Adrian here. In this video, I want to talk to you about whether you can get a mortgage, you can buy a property in Spain with a mortgage being self-employed and non-resident. Now, it doesn't really matter if you're non-resident, if you're resident, if you're employed, if you're self-employed, you can buy. That's the beauty of Spain. As long as you have the funds and the right documents, you can buy property in Spain. Now, specifically, if you're self-employed and non-resident, it's not true that you cannot get a mortgage, because I've seen some people saying that no, it's impossible. Um, it's not impossible, but it's definitely harder. I mean, it's harder even here in the UK, maybe in the USA, in any country where you are self-employed. I'm sure that if you go to the bank in your country and you tell them that you want to buy a property and you're self-employed versus employee, they're gonna say, "Oh, I want 5 years of this. I want 50 pages of that, and all these extra documents that they ask." Well, in Spain, is not different, and it's also considered a little bit more risky for the bank because first you're self-employed and second you're non-resident. So in their mind, right, at the bank, they would say if anything happens, which property you will quit paying if you want, right? If you have financial difficulties. So it makes sense they're gonna stop paying the one in Spain. So that's why they make it a little bit more difficult. So the biggest problem you're gonna have when it comes to buying this property in Spain as a self-employed and as a non-resident is for you to show the bank that you actually have the funds, you have solvency, so you have the monthly income every month coming into your bank, so you basically can afford this loan. Now, before many years ago, or not too many years ago, actually, you would go to the bank with your paperwork and you would talk to the person at the bank and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a mortgage," and they will look at your paperwork. "Okay, Adrian, you're making 50,000 per year. You have no debt. This and that, blah blah blah. Okay, thanks for coming. This looks like a good operation. I'm going to approve your mortgage." Nowadays, you go to the bank, right? Same situation. You give them the documents, and what they will do, they will just type these numbers. They'll type the numbers into the system, into the algorithm, and the algorithm will say yes or no. So basically, there's not much you can do, even if you talk to the people at the bank. Hey, I'm a self-employed, but you know how we work. We make some money. We pay ourselves the minimum wage, but then we pay ourselves dividends every, I don't know, few months. They know, all banks know this, because I talk to many banks and they know this is how self-employed people are doing it. But then when it comes to study your mortgage, they just gonna put the numbers there, and the computer's gonna say yes or no. Okay, so that was the problem. The solution, and this is what I do myself with my wife. We buy properties for our own real estate portfolio, so we're not just brokers. We invest as well, and because we're using banks' money to invest, we prepare ourselves ahead of time to make sure the numbers look good for the algorithm. So let's say last year I was paying myself 1,000 euros, but now I know that next year I want to buy another property. So I'm gonna raise my salary, if you want. Instead of paying myself 1,000, now I'm gonna pay myself 1,500. I mean, it doesn't matter the number. I'm sure you're getting the point. Just make sure your financials look visually appealing for the people at the bank, and especially for the algorithm. So pay yourself a little better salary. Make sure you don't have too much debt. You don't have the credit cards. If you can get rid of those, for that period of time, because they're gonna ask for all these things. They're gonna ask for your invoices or pay slips. They're going to ask for your tax return. They're going to ask for your credit score report. So if you have all these things nicely done, there's no problem for you to get a mortgage in Spain. Now, when it comes to how much can you borrow in Spain as a self-employed and as a non-resident, most of the banks I work with, they offer 70%. And I work with Ibercaja, Cajamar, Caixa Popular, Caixa Bank, Sabadell. I work with many banks in Spain, and I have direct contact with the directors, which makes things smooth. But sometimes, depending on the case, they can offer you less because they might consider the operation a little bit more riskier for them. So they're gonna say, well, Adrian, I can give you only 60% or 50%. Again, depends on the case. That's why it's important that if you are in this situation and if you want me to check if you can get a loan in Spain to buy your property, please get in touch. I'll leave some forms of contact in the description or in the comments. So please get in touch and let me see for you, no charge, if you can get a loan in Spain. I hope this video was helpful to you in any way. Let me know in the comments below if you have any additional questions. I'm just making these videos from the top of my head. I have nothing planned, but I know that you might have this question, so I said, well, maybe let me just quickly share my thoughts on this topic with you guys, and hopefully it's helpful. Okay, thanks a lot, and see you in the next video. Adios, amigos.